Hello and welcome. We have yet another interesting tutorial. In this video we are going to learn how to make this beautiful false wrap dress for a 9 to 10-year-old child. This dress has a beautiful sleeve, that is a puff sleeve with gathers at the hem, and it's extremely simple, and I had so much fun working on this dress. So if this is a video you are interested in learning, then let's get started. But please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like our videos, comment on it, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this tutorial. Let's delve right into the details. So I'll be using these two pieces of fabric to make this dress. I have 2 yards for the printed fabric and then a yard for the plain fabric. So I'll be combining the two to make this dress. So let's go ahead and then cut out the pieces. So this is the fabric I'll be using for the back pieces. I'll be starting out with cutting out the back pieces. So I have here 2 pieces of fabric. This fabric is 10.5 inches in width and 12.5 inches in length. So for the back, I'll be placing a zipper at the back. I'm going to mark out my zipper allowance of 1 inch. Mark and then connect this point with a straight line. Then I'm going to input my shoulder length of 6 inches. So I'm going to mark this away from the zipper allowance, 6 inches mark, and then I would input 6.5 inches for my chest line. So from the top, I'll mark out 6.5, mark it, and then connect these 2 points with a line. I would also extend this point with a line out this way so that I'll be able to draw my armhole curve. Then I would draw a reference line across this way to help me plot my bust measurement. So remember, I am taking each mark away from the zipper allowance I made. So I'll input 1/4 of my bust measurement. I'm working with 9 inches. I'll mark it, and then on the waist area I'm going to mark out 8.5 inches. That will be 1/4 of my waist measurement. I'll mark it out and I'll connect these 2 points from the waist to the chest area with a straight line. Then I will draw in my armhole curve. I would also input my neck measurement. I'll be doing 3 inches for the neck width, and then the depth will be 1 inch for the back. So I'll connect these 2 points with a curve. I'll be using my free hand to draw in the neck for the back. I'll also drop the shoulder by 1/2 inch for my shoulder slope. Then I'll connect this point to the neck region. And as simple as that, we are done with the back pattern. I'll go ahead and then cut out this piece. So I'm done cutting. I have 2 pieces for the back. Remember, I said I'll be adding a zipper to the back. So I'll set this aside so that we can cut out the front piece as well. So for the front, this is the piece of fabric I'll be using. I have a piece of fabric on fold. This is the fold line here, and I'll go ahead and then measure it. I have for the width 9.5 inches, and then the length is also 12.5 inches. So I'm going to input my shoulder measurement, 6 inches like we did for the back. I'm repeating basically the same thing here, 6.5 inches for my chest I'll connect these 2 points with a straight line. Then when I'm done with this, I'll be drawing out my guideline for the chest area. Then also I would input a quarter of my bust measurement. Remember, we worked with 9 inches for the back, and then the waist 8.5 inches. Then I'll connect the waist to the chest area with the straight line. I'll go ahead and also curve out my armhole. And then the next I'll do is to input my neck measurement. I'll be doing 3 inches by 3 inches for the front, and then I will draw in my neck curve. I'll also drop the shoulder by half an inch and then reconnect to touch my neck curve. And we are done with the front. I'll go ahead and then cut it out. And this is it for the front, one piece. I would also go in by 3 inches from the waist and then mark it out. And then from this 3-inch mark, I'll reconnect to touch my shoulder. So I'm drawing a curved line. This is going to be my new neck region, because this top is going to be a wrap top for the dress. So I'll connect it. When you are doing this, please do not reduce the shoulder measurement we have at the top. So I'll cut it out. The next we are going to do is to cut out the other side of this top. So I'm going to do that by bringing in another piece of fabric. Then I will place my front piece right sides facing right side of this fabric, and then make sure that the sides are aligned. It's aligned properly. It's not going to shift while we are going to cut this out. If you need to pin it, please do so. I'll place it down, and then I'll cut out the other piece for the front of this dress. So we are done. We have 2 pieces for the front. This is what the front looks like now, and this is how we are going to align them to create the wrap. So I'm going to serge the sides of this top, the waist area, and I'll leave out the armhole and the neck region. So I've also serged the back pieces as well. I left out the armhole and then the neck region of the back. So let's set the back pieces aside so that we can concentrate on the front. So remember, the front, I have 2 pieces. One is overlapping the other to create the false wrap we want to achieve on this top. So the next I'm going to do is to form my ruffles that I'll be using on the neck region of this dress. So for the ruffles, I have 2 pieces of fabric here. I have one that is long, this is it here, and then the other is short. These fabrics are on fold. The width of the longer one is 3 inches, and then the length is 24 inches. And for the shorter one, I also have a width of 3 inches and a length of 12 inches. So it's important to make one long and then one short, because we do not want to create a bulge at the neck region of this dress. So I'm going to clean off the top of these strips of fabric, and then after cleaning it off by folding in about 1/4 of an inch, I'll also draw gathers at the top area. So I'll fold the longer piece 1/4 of an inch at the bottom, and then draw gathers at the top to create the ruffles. So this is the ruffles. I have the longer one here, and this is the shorter one here as well. So I'm going to be overlapping the right side on the left side. So on the right side, I'm going to place the long ruffle on it and then pin it onto the neck region of the right side of this dress. So I'll pin, and when I'm done pinning, I would stitch them down on the sewing machine by 1/4 of an inch from the top to the bottom. And then for the left side of this top, I'll place the shorter piece of fabric. So like I said, this is supposed to be short so that it doesn't create a bulge on the chest of this child. So I'll pin the ruffles on this piece of fabric as well, head to my sewing machine, and then stitch this down on 1/4 of an inch. I created this bias tape from the main fabric I'm using for this dress. I'll use this to further clean the neck region so that I have a neat neck. So I'll also clean the back neck with these strips of bias tape I created. So for the neck, each piece of this neck, I will just clean the neck with the bias tape. So this is what the front looks like. I have created the ruffles and then I have cleaned it with the bias. This is how neat it looks, and this is the other side of the wrap top as well, looking so beautiful. Remember, the ruffles ended midsection of this top for the left piece of fabric. And I have here my back pieces. The neck has been cleaned as well. So I'll just align the back pieces shoulder to the front, and then I will hold them down with pins, and I'll head to my sewing machine and then stitch down the shoulders on 1/2 an inch. So I'm done stitching the shoulders. This is what it looks like, and this is what I have for the front. It's looking so gorgeous. The next I will do is to stitch the pieces for the front together on the sides by 1/4 of an inch, and then we'll set this aside and work on the sleeves. So for the sleeves, I have 2 pieces of fabric here unfold into 4 pieces, and then the fold line is here. This fabric is 6.5 inches in length and 11 inches in width. So I'm going to go down by 4 inches from the top and mark this. Then from this point I made here, I'll draw in my armhole curve. Then from the sides, I'm going to go in by 1 inch and then connect this to the top of this sleeve this way, and I'll cut out my sleeve piece. Also notch the midsection of this sleeve, and then here we have the sleeves. I have a piece for each side of the armhole. So I'm going to draw gathers at the top of this sleeve, and then for the bottom I'll fold it in by 1/4 of an inch twice and then clean off the bottom of this sleeve. I'll repeat the same process for the other sleeve piece. So I've brought in my top, and then I'll place my sleeves on it. I'm done with drawing the gathers at the top, so I'll pin the sleeves to the armhole area. And so whatever I'm doing here, I'll be repeating the same process for the other side of the armhole. I'll place the sleeve down, pin them, and then I would stitch them down on the sewing machine by 1/2 an inch all round. So after stitching it down, I'm going to be adding an elastic tape to the hem of this sleeve. This elastic tape is 9 inches in length. So I'm going to place this elastic at the bottom of this sleeve. From one end to the other, I will stitch it down on the sewing machine, and while I'm stitching, I'll be pulling the elastic to create the gathers effect at the hem of this sleeve. I'll repeat the same process for the other sleeve. And this is what the sleeves look like. I am done with it. This is how gorgeous they look. We are going to set this aside and then work on the skirt of this dress. So for the skirt, I have 2 pieces of fabric here. I'll be using 1 piece of the fabric for the front and then the other for the back. So I'll fold in my pieces of fabric so I can be able to measure and be able to see on the screen. So the width of this fabric is 18 inches. And I have 24 inches in length. So I'll fold my fabric pieces and then I would cut out one of the pieces of fabric into 2. So this is what I'll be using for the back of this skirt. Remember, my dress has a zipper at the back, so I need to create 2 pieces for the back. So I'll head to my sewing machine and draw gathers at the top of these pieces of fabric, and then I'll repeat the same process for the back as well. So this is the gathered skirt for the front. I will go ahead and then pin the skirt onto the top of this dress. I'll pin from one side to the other and I would stitch them down on the sewing machine by half an inch. I would also pin the back skirts to the back pieces of the top and then stitch them down on the sewing machine. So I've stitched the skirts down. This is what we have here. This is what the back looks like. So the next I'm going to do is to align the pieces of the back together, and I have here my matching zipper which I'll be using for the back. Remember, the back we have a zipper allowance of 1 inch, so I align the waist region of the back pieces very well, and then I would stitch the back skirt down midsection of the skirt on 1 inch. That is the zipper allowance we left, midsection to the bottom hem of this skirt. Then I would fix my zipper to the back. So I've stitched the zipper and then the back is complete. This is what it looks like. We are almost done with this dress. I would also stitch the sides together on half an inch. I'll do this by turning the dress inside out. This is the wrong side of this dress. We'll go ahead and align the sides together from the sleeve through to the hem of this dress and then stitch this down on half an inch. I'll be repeating the same process for the other side of this dress. Then for the hem, I'll fold it in by half an inch twice and then clean off the hem of this dress all round. So this is the dress. We are done. It's looking so beautiful. For the midsection of this top, I'll stitch it down by half an inch just to hold it in place. You can also leave it that way if that is okay with you. So this is the dress. We are done. It's looking so beautiful, and this dress is very simple. This is what the back looks like, looking so gorgeous. The zipper creates a lot of comfort for this child to be able to wear this dress easily. Thank you so much for making time to watch this tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more fun tutorials. Thank you for watching.